Peace and love. What's happening? This is Stacy Patrice with another Hump Day edition. Got the whole screen humping of Tools for the Soul. Thank you so much for joining me today. I decided to take this video into nature and discover what is so beautiful about April, about spring. It's April 1st here in Chicago, and we're just having a great time. So in today's Hump Day vid, I would like to discuss love. And what aspect of love is the most important aspect that a lot of us miss is that your love can extend itself to others without there having to be something expected in return. And some people determine this as meaning that they're not loving themselves if they get to a situation where they say, I am going to extend my love to someone else. But it's actually the opposite. It actually means that you love yourself enough and you're so full and fulfilled with love that when it comes to extending it to someone else, it's completely free, right? It's completely free in the sense that your extension to another person is simply just that. It is you expressing yourself and giving from your heart and giving to another person without there being any requirement of exchange of how that person has to give back. And so for today, I just wanted to talk about that. It's something I've been dealing with a lot recently. I've been seeing it a lot on social media. I have been actually finding myself in a position where I've been having these conversations with people about what that looks like. And so what I wanted to do for today's video was just delve a little deeper and give you some tools for your soul for that. So as an example, let's say you meet someone, and upon meeting them, you feel something very, very strong. You're drawn to them instantly. You feel that there is a super magnetic pull between you and this other person. So how is it that with this super magnetic pull, you and this other person could be anything other than lovers, right? Originally we think about connecting with other people as something that's innate. If you have an attraction to somebody, it's definitely someone that you're supposed to be physically involved with because that's the strongest attraction that you feel. Well, I want to challenge that for today's video, and I want to say that when you first meet someone, the first thing you should be looking for is where do you two connect? Not the possibility of what you can connect on, but where do you two already connect, right? So if I'm looking and I meet someone and they love to talk as much as I do, or they love to be in nature, they love to help people, they love to love. These are things we're going to connect on instantly. Next, I'm going to look at what are the things that seem like, I can glean from them, I can learn from them, or they can learn from me. So I call this looking for that purpose. So you start looking at the purpose and start saying, oh, this person is really great at blah. And I have been wanting to move into that area in my life. Even if I never express it to that person, you know it as a secret from your soul that there's some other interest that you have. And if this person is already operating or familiar with this interest, then this might be an additional point of interest if you're honest with yourself that you can add in conversation with this person. So those are two things that I look for from the very beginning. I'm just kind of mindful and watch for them as opposed to like seeking them out. It's just they're always around me because we're always attracting who we are, right? Which means that the things that you want to attract that you are not as likely going to come to you. So for instance, if you say, I really want a person who's really passionate and soulful and they're all about their career and their life, and you realize that you're not really doing that in your life, you have less of a likelihood to meet that person unless you camouflage yourself as being someone who is that person, but is not acting on that in their daily life. So I'd say that everyone around you has a value. Those strong magnetic pulls are usually soul connections. And then if you look a little deeper, you may find that that innate relationship between the two of you may be compromised if you immediately jump into the physical aspect of the relationship. So here are my tools for the soul on how you can stop this from being so, how you can move forward in your relationships without requiring that it has to be a physical connection. So here are a few ways that this can happen. The first tool for the soul that I recommend is start by analyzing what it is that you're really abundant in, right? So maybe for some people, this is in giving advice to others, helping others, maybe being a great listener, finding those qualities that you're constantly complimented on and that you constantly function in, and then say, that's what I'm not going to look for in my relationship. Reason I say this is, for instance, some of us have a savior complex. I know in my past, I've been the person that wants to help heal people because that's what I do for a living. So then when I'm in a relationship where I meet someone, I immediately see all the aspects of them that need healing, and I immediately begin to get to work. The problem with that is that I'm doing more of what I already do, which means I'm emptying out. There's nothing that's being refilled, replenished, restored, because I'm constantly emptying out. And what's happening is that that relationship becomes a codependent one, because now that person is dependent on me doing my best to heal them, and I am probably also dependent on them needing to be healed by me. So this immediately is a dysfunctional relationship. It immediately is a mismatched relationship, and actually it's a relationship that is business in nature. And this is the reason why I say definitely look at the thing that you do the most and make sure that that's not the prevalent source of your relationship. Your relationship should be a source of abundance. It should be a wellspring of love. It should be something that you can turn to that is replenishing. So if you're turning to something that's draining, it's not really a relationship. It's really a function of need. It's really a function of service. And you can still provide that service, but you need not provide that service and call it a relationship. You need get paid for that service if this is something that you do or something that you're interested in doing. The other piece of this that's really simple for me, and another tool that I recommend, is if you're looking at yourself, look at what it is that you really feel, not that you can't do without, but these are the things that you find it really challenging to do. So one of mine is I love people who make me laugh and who can shrug off life and can just say, you know what, let's move on. I love that kind of activating nature. And so because of that, I tend to find that in relationships, men who make me laugh, men who are hilarious, men who have a way of laughing at life's twists and turns instead of becoming more fragile and more bombarded by life's demands, feel a lot more like home to me. Now, this is simply because they have already been through something that has allowed them to get their minds in the proper place that says, we're wasting a lot of times on details, which is my strong point. As a goddess, I am always interested in details and always harping on details. But men, on the other hand, are more big picture, as I've found. And if they're in tune with their feminine energy as well, they know which details to hold on to and which ones to let go of. And this is something that could be very complementary. It's just a small nudge. These are things that you're going to be nudged with so that you can evolve and be more expansive into what it is that you want to see yourself doing moving forward in your life, the things that you need to get over that hump. Tool number 3 is simply, can you find that harmony in people who are already around you? Because sometimes we have a need, we think it's a need, and we're like, oh, I have to have this partner that does it all for me. And the reality is that you have a ton of friends, you have a ton of allies, collaborators that are already providing this really exquisite experience for you. And you're overlooking that because you only want to experience it in a romantic context. And I say be done with romance anyway. Just look at partnership. Look at who you vibe with, who you collaborate with, who's a part of your tribe. And do this not only in your regular relationships and your friendships, but also do this in your partnerships, your divine partnerships with who it is that you see yourself partnering with, so that you can have a complete context of experience with that person. And so I, for instance, have a ton of friends who are extremely creative, extremely abundant, extremely free thinking. And it describes more about who I am. And so these are qualities that I know are my strong suits. And then it takes me to tool number 4, which is to kind of look at the things that I can say I haven't developed at all. So this is different than number 2. Not the nudge that you get that will help you evolve, but the things that you don't go anywhere near and you're actually averse to. These are usually the relationships that will show up in your life and smack you right on the head, cause possibly a lot of pain, a lot of worry, or you'll see them from the jump and go, I'm not dealing with it. And I'm not saying that your relationship should be experimental if that's not the vibe that you're here for, but I do say your relationships are based on personal growth. And so if you see something that's kind of agitating you and putting you on edge a little bit, I would say look deeper into that and see if you just removed that resistance and that hindrance from your mind and moved it to the recesses of your mind, what would happen engaging with a person who really pulls that trigger or pushes that button for you and makes you just go off when this particular aspect shows up in your life. So these are just 4 of my tools for the soul. I think the combination of the 4 will help you get a better grip on your relationships. I also think that as they have worked for me in the past, I have journaled these ideas and I've kind of put them together in a context that says, can I look at someone as more than just the object of my affection? Can I look at someone I'm extremely physically attracted to and say there's more there than meets the eye? There are lessons, there's growth, there's evolution, and that this person is actually here to assist me and me to assist them, as opposed to me condemning and judging and becoming rigid because I don't want to acknowledge what it is they have to offer because my blind spots cannot see how it could be useful for me. So I say try that on. Leave a comment below right here on YouTube. Share the video. Talk about it with your friends. Bring it up in conversation with people you can really trust and people you really connect with. And then just see what happens as you apply these tools for your soul. Always look at your soul first. Always know that your soul is constantly communicating to you about what's easy, what's challenging, what's preferred, what has already been explored. And know that when you're looking at your relationships, sometimes what you want is very simplistic. It may be as simplistic as to have a companion to be a witness to your life. It may be as simplistic as having someone who can help engage you more deeply into your life's activities and your life's callings and life's pursuits. That is very simple. It's not as finite as this tall, this shade, this job, this passion. Those can be clues that can help pull you in and recognize someone that you'd want to spend a lot of time with. But I'd say don't grip too tightly because a lot of times those qualities are coming from a different place. They're coming from a root place and they're not coming from the heart center. So with all that being said, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for taking the time to care about yourself on this beautiful day, April 1st. Thank you for taking the time to apply these tools to your soul. They are truly for you. They've worked for me. They've helped me to have abundant relationships with people who I know as a fact belong in my life and are lifelong partners. So thank you so much for listening. StacyPatrice.com. Peace, love, namaste, ashe. Talk to you soon. See you next Wednesday. Peace.